All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about something really cool happening kind of behind the scenes in the world of conservation. It's a story about how hundreds of natural spots, everything from remote marshes to busy estuaries, are getting this new, super important layer of protection. And it's all thanks to a global agreement that's really picking up steam. So what are these places and why is all this happening right now? Let's get into it. Okay, take a look at this number. Over 2,500. And it's still climbing. Now, this isn't just some random statistic, right? Every single one of those digits stands for a real place, a vital wetland, a unique ecosystem that's now officially recognized for being, well, internationally important. Think of it like a massive, growing network of protected spots all over the globe. So what does that even mean, wetlands of international importance? What's the big deal? Well, that's what we're going to break down first. We're going to look at what it actually takes for a place, a simple marsh or a river, to get this kind of VIP status. At the very heart of this is the term Ramsar Site. And a really good way to think about it is it's kind of like a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But instead of protecting, say, ancient ruins or a famous castle, this is all about protecting the world's most critical living ecosystems. It's a big deal. It's an official status that comes from an international treaty where countries basically promise to take care of their wetlands. But, not just any swamp or bog can get this label. What makes a wetland internationally important? Well, it has to check some very specific boxes. It might be absolutely crucial for how water moves through an entire region. That's the whole hydrology thing. Or maybe it's just a massive hub for biodiversity, just packed with all sorts of unique plants and animals. A big one is being a vital rest stop for migratory birds on their epic journeys. And, this is so important, it has to be a place that supports the local people who live there, in a sustainable way. Okay, now that we've got the basics down, let's get to the really exciting part, the incredible momentum we've been seeing. So many new sites are being added to this list, and one country in particular has just been on a roll with this, India. Just look at this timeline. It really tells a story of commitment. We start back in early 2024 with huge places like the Tower Reservoir and the Aganashini Estuary. That's this amazing spot where a river flows into the sea. Then, boom, June 2025 hits, and you see a whole bunch of community-driven sites get added. And it doesn't stop. More sites pop up in September. It's a really clear, sustained push to protect some of the country's most precious natural spots. But honestly, to really get what this all means, we have to look past the numbers and the timelines. We need to zoom in and hear the stories from the ground level. So let's do that. Let's zoom right into Rajasthan and look at two brand new Ramsar sites that were just added in June of 2025. I think these two places perfectly capture the whole spirit of this global agreement. First up, we've got a place called Kitchen. And wow, this quote from the official paperwork really says it all. Huge congregations of migratory demoiselle cranes. Seriously, we are not talking about a few birds hanging out. This is a jaw-dropping natural spectacle. But here's the thing. What makes Kitchen so special isn't just the cranes. It's the people. For generations, the local community there has been all in on protecting these birds. They even put out grain for them to help them on their journey. It's this incredible story of humans and wildlife living together. And that deep, community-led conservation effort, that's a huge reason it finally got this big international nod. All right, for our next story, let's head over to another new site in Rajasthan. This place has earned itself the best nickname. They call it the Bird Village. And let me tell you, it totally deserves that name. Mannar is another beautiful, vibrant wetland. But what's really amazing here is that the whole ecosystem is managed and protected by the local people. We're talking everything from making sure the water levels are right to building and protecting nesting spots. They are the guardians of this place. It's just a fantastic example of what local stewardship can do. So these stories from Hitchin and Mannar, they're awesome, right? But the thing is, this isn't happening in isolation. It's part of a much bigger trend. So let's pull the camera back out a bit and see how this idea of community-led conservation is popping up all over the world. Yeah, this push to protect these vital wetlands is really happening everywhere. You look at Japan in July 2025, they designated Lake Inawashiro, this huge freshwater lake that's not just great for wildlife, but also has deep cultural meaning for people there. And all through 2024, the U.S. was adding new sites, from coastal marshes on the Atlantic all the way to the prairie potholes in the Midwest. So yeah, that same spirit we saw in Mannar and Kitchan, It is absolutely a global thing. Okay, so we've talked about what a Ramsar site is. We've heard these incredible stories about communities stepping up all over the world. But let's get down to it. What's the bottom line? Why does getting this official stamp of approval matter so much? Well, it creates this kind of ripple effect. Once a place becomes a Ramsar site, it gets international attention. That can help unlock funding for projects, maybe even create some cool ecotourism jobs. It puts a protective shield around all that biodiversity and helps make sure freshwater supplies are secure for everybody. And maybe most importantly, like we saw back in Rajasthan, it helps support the local people whose lives and jobs depend on that healthy ecosystem. It's really where this big global idea meets real life on the ground. And that really brings us to the final thought here. Every single one of these globally important sites, they all started out as local treasures. They were places loved and protected by the people right there. So it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What's the vital wetland in your own backyard? Because the next great conservation story could be right around the corner from you. And hey, maybe it's a story you could help write.